Until last month, blind legal activist Chen Guangcheng was under extrajudicial house arrest by local authorities in his village home near the city of Linyi in Shandong province. He'd been held since his release from a 4-year prison sentence in 2010. Chen had fallen foul of the Linyi authorities back in 2005 when he exposed their involvement in illegal forced abortions and sterilizations. Last month, Chen made a dramatic escape and eventually managed to make his way hundreds of miles to the US Embassy in Beijing. There, he spent 6 days before leaving for treatment at a local hospital in Beijing in the company of US Ambassador Gary Locke. As he left, Chen said he'd received guarantees from the Chinese authorities that he and his family would be safe. However, he now says he wants to go to the US, at least temporarily, as he believes he is still in danger in China. Chinese media kept absolute silence on the story until Chen actually left the embassy, and government censors worked overtime to delete virtually any mention of the incident from the Chinese internet. So at that stage, just what did people in China know about the dramatic story that was making headlines across the world? Were the censors successful? Well, our researcher Joanna Tan went out last week and asked people on the streets of Beijing that question. Do you know anything about Chen Guangcheng?
Do you know anything about Chen Guangcheng?
I don't know him.
I don't know.
No, I don't.
Sorry, I don't know anything.
I don't know who you are talking about. I have no idea.
I know nothing about this.
Well, that was then. But this weekend, 4 Beijing newspapers broke their silence on the affair with simultaneous editorials attacking both Chen Guangcheng and the US Ambassador Gary Locke, as well as the United States in general. Now, in one of these, the Beijing Daily accused Ambassador Locke of playing little tricks and said that Chen didn't represent ordinary Chinese, but the interests of the hostile forces of the West. It also called him a tool and a pawn by which politicians in the United States blacken China. Well, we decided to see if these strident views published over the weekend had had any effect. So this week, Joanna again asked the same question. Do you know anything about Chen Guangcheng?
Chen Guangcheng? No, I don't.
Well, I heard the news, but I don't know much about it, and currently I can't get enough information to understand the whole affair. But from what I've heard up until now, I think maybe the government put too many restrictions on him. To be honest, I really think that with such sensitive news, the government should be more open and transparent. Just because we have no way of getting to the truth, people end up not paying attention to such issues.
Yes, I saw the news. In my opinion, I don't think his behavior is proper. Yes, he may have suffered some unfair treatment here, but as a Chinese person, I think he could have asked for help from our own judicial department, rather than taking it to a foreign country. And as far as I'm concerned, his behavior just makes the whole country look bad.
Well, I haven't heard anything about that.
Chen Guangcheng? Is he the guy who likes to donate his money on the TV?
Some views before and after the weekend on Chinese activist Chen Guangcheng and his situation at the moment. And just to explain that reference from one of those interviewees there to the money on TV, there is a well-known wealthy Chinese philanthropist called Chen Guangbiao. It's a very similar name in Chinese, and he's famous for giving away money to charity in rather showy ways, often on television programs. So that explains that misunderstanding there.